In 2006, an advertising campaign featuring the most interesting man in the world entered American airwaves. The ads featured a bearded, debonair gentleman with humorous and outrageous voiceovers, and the campaign soon became a popular internet meme. Each ad features the most interesting man in the world performing misogynistic feats such as catching a marlin while cavorting in a Hemingway-esque scene with young, scantily clad women, and bench pressing 2 women himself, each seated in a chair in a casino. The ad's voiceovers include humorous undertones such as giving his own father the talk, experiencing an awkward moment just to know how it felt, and finding the fountain of youth, but not drinking from it because he wasn't thirsty. At the end of the advertisement, the most interesting man in the world, usually shown sitting in a nightclub or other social setting surrounded by beautiful young women, says, "I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis." Each commercial always ends with his signature sign-off, "Stay thirsty, my friends." But by 2018, nearly 12 years after it first aired, the campaign was long played out, as tired a meme as the over-the-top surreal Old Spice commercials, cringe-inducing office cooler Chuck Norris jokes, and podcasts about the top 100 beers of all time. Sensing this trend, parent company Joatemak Moctezuma discontinued the ad, replacing it with a new campaign called Keep It Interessante. Today on the show, we're cavorting in a Hemingway-esque scene with a beautiful young woman to discuss Dos Equis Lager Especial.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Great job on that intro,
Cheers.
Joey.
Thank you. We are joined by old friend, repeated guest, my wife, Devon Glocke is on the show. Welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome,
hello,
Devon.
hello.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to everyone.
To Dos Equis.
I was most terrified about opening those bottles.
Why?
But
You did very
I
well.
succeeded.
You did
Why
all
were you
3,
terrified?
yeah.
Definitely succeeded.
What made you terrified about that?
I don't know. I
Pressure's
felt,
on.
I didn't
Live
want it
show.
I didn't want it to be too loud. I don't know. All
You
the
did
things.
great.
I did great. I
You
did a good job. We're all drinking it, so it's fine.
We are drinking it. My first impression, fine. I
It's
don't know
pretty
if I've-
smooth for a green bottle beer.
When's the last time you guys think you had a Dos Equis?
I was just saying, I'm not sure I even have ever had one.
I'm not
I
sure
may not have had one.
Yeah. We had Mexican food last night, and what did I have? I can't remember. You had a margarita that was just in a chalice.
Oh,
yeah, nice.
Giant chalice.
You had a Negro Modelo, I
Negro
believe.
Modelo, yeah.
I had a margarita last night at this Mexican place.
Where did you
And
go?
She, El Sombrero in Columbia City.
Oh, wow.
They have queso, Wisconsin-style queso.
Hell yeah.
Big vat of it they'll give you at the
Liquid
beginning.
gold, otherwise known
very
as.
good.
Oh, yeah. It's just pure Velveeta.
Yes.
Nice.
But I got this fresh, they have a regular margarita, like house margarita, Cadillac, that kind of stuff. And then there was like fresh margarita. All the ingredients are fresh. It's a couple bucks
Okay.
more. And I was like, you know what? That'd be nice. And she went and made it. And she came, set it down, is this huge chalice of margarita. And she was like, if this is sour, let me know. It's good. It's sour. If this is going to be too sour. I was like, that's fine. I drank it. It's a little sour. And then I was like, this is fine. As it went down, she passed once more and came in and said, is it too sour? I was like, what did she do to fuck this up?
Yeah.
And as I drank it, oh, baby, it was too sour. It was almost undrinkable.
She knew you gringo couldn't handle it, man.
She checked in, though. She tried. She was like, this is going to taste bad, and I want you to admit it. I want you to be a
She
man
did,
and admit
and
it.
I-
And
I
she
don't wanna
wouldn't,
send it
wouldn't do
back.
it.
What
She
do we
would've
send it back? It's
splashed-
too sour.
Well, no, she might have brought some like Sprite or something to put in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like something to sweeten it up
Just
a little
maybe
bit.
some more tequila. That would have been
Or,
nice.
yeah,
Just a shot.
smooth-
Here, put this in
smooth
there.
it out with
was
some
it
more.
boozy, though? You never even, it was too sour. You didn't
I
even
can't
notice.
tell when things are boozy. You'll drink it, and go, oh, that's boozy, and then I'll be like, this isn't really much. That's why I don't
Your
drink
palate
mixed
has
drinks.
just evolved to.
I don't think
Everything
so.
The heavy
tastes like
liquor.
Aquafina to
Yeah.
you. It's just all
smooth.
Okay.
Speaking of Mexican food, Nick just got off the train
Yes.
from the airport,
The train, the plane.
And the plane.
Yeah,
And the plane.
All
And
of
the
it.
automobile in the form of an Uber.
an automobile from Palm Springs. How was that? You mentioned
Palm
it's good
Springs was
Mexican.
great. Yeah, they had a bunch of good Mexican food. I actually had several margaritas yesterday, and I got one like along the same lines. They called it, I forget what it was. It was like the house margarita as opposed to like, something else, like a dirty whatever. And it was pretty good. It was like all the fresh stuff, lime juice based, so it was on the sour side, which I kind of like actually,
Yeah.
because I think it makes me drink it more slowly. Like I'm
Right.
not sucking down these
Yeah.
margaritas, which I had most of that night.
Sure.
Slow it
Correct.
down with
As
the
one
fresh
does.
lime juice.
Yeah. Except for me. I won't ever drink a margarita again in my life.
Devin has vowed she'll never have
I
another
hate
margarita.
them. I hate them so
You hate
much.
the taste, or you hate how it makes you feel?
All of those things.
Okay.
I don't like tequila, and I don't like triple sec, and I kind of
well.
don't like margarita mix. So
Yeah.
all of those things combined
Lethal combination.
make me want to die. So yeah, I swore off margaritas
Good.
probably like Cinco de Mayo, maybe 2-3 years ago. I was
Okay.
like, never again.
Nice.
I mean, lime-aritas though. You can talk me into that.
You into lime
No,
arenas?
sorry.
I'm just kidding.
That's
so
gut rot
nasty.
waiting to happen. Yeah.
Have
so
I
much
said
sugar.
this? Have I said this on the show? The prank that my friends played on him.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever shared that, or maybe like way at the beginning.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great story.
We can rehash it. We're 80 some episodes in now. Yeah, my buddy Matt had his friends from Canada over, and they played a prank on him by filling every shelf, drawer, and his refrigerator with lime-aritas. Like lime-aritas, strawberries, raspberries, all the flavors.
They
He
bought
just-
out
pretty
all
good.
of the Ritas in, I think, this QFC over
Yes.
here. Like every single one they bought. They had hundreds of lime-aritas.
Right. I think the premise was he had this like serial killer kitchen where he didn't have a lot of food and didn't have a lot of ingredients.
Oh.
So all
So
the
they were making
cabinets were
fun
empty.
of him
Yeah.
for it, and then they're like, "We'll fill it for you." Like, well, because you were generous enough to let us stay here, and then they filled it with lime-aritas. It's a fun prank.
It
Pretty
is a
great
fun-
prank. But then every time we
committed
went to
to
his
it.
house for like a movie night, he was like, I have lime-aritas.
You guys want lime-aritas?
And lime-aritas.
Yeah,
and
that
is it.
sucks.
That is
Yeah.
all I have to offer you.
Yeah, that's a good bit. Were they the like those little cans? Yeah, the like
Yeah.
10 ounce or whatever they are.
Filled.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They should always be 10 ounce. They shouldn't. They
Yeah,
come
because they
in
come
like gallon sizes.
in the diesel.
Yeah. Like,
diesel can now.
that's no one should be drinking that at one sitting. Like
No.
that makes me want to die.
It's just I can already taste the heartburn.
Something along
from
those same
talking about
lines that we just saw in the store the other day was that still water.
Oh, yeah.
hard
Oh my
still
God,
water. Or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, my God.
I'm very curious about it.
So it was.
hard still water.
Hard still water, so as opposed to like hard seltzer or something. That at least
Was it in a can or was it in a bottle?
I think it was a bottle. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
So it's a
God,
bottle
that's
of
weird.
water.
It's a bottle, but like a glass bottle.
yes, a glass bottle.
of just water, but
Yeah.
alcoholic water. Not
what
even
do you-
bubbles. No
right.
bubbles.
No bubbles. Just still.
What do you
Oh,
think
God.
the alcohol was? Like what's
bet
in
like
what's in
5.
what is the alcohol in a seltzer water?
I think
Hard
it's like
seltzer?
5-ish,
Yeah,
right?
but what?
No, but
it's
what
like
is
a,
it?
I want to.
Oh,
it's
what
vodka,
is it?
right?
It's
No.
like grain liquor.
grain liquor.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So now they're just selling bottles of water with grain liquor in them, calling it
But they're
hard
glass
distilled
bottles,
water.
so they're fancy.
Well, and I
But
told
you
you,
can-
I've
yeah.
had uncles who just drink like rye and water in a
Sure,
plastic
we all
water
do.
bottle.
Oh God.
So it's just like, are they trying to class up that act?
I
don't
guess.
Oh man, how are these beers going down, fellas?
It's
Oh,
actually
very
smooth.
good.
I like
very
it.
smooth.
Not
Yeah.
bad.
It's a lager especial. It says right there on the bottle.
Cerveceria
Starting to believe it.
Moctezuma.
Yeah, I enjoy it thoroughly. I think it just gets out of the way. It doesn't have a skunkiness to it.
Right.
It's very refreshing.
Right.
Just on our last
Oh
point,
yeah, the water.
the water is called Pura. It's spiked still water. Like it or not, boozy seltzer changed the drinking game. It allowed us to sip on canned beverages that are low. Oh, this is some jackass writing an article. Anyway, bubbleless boozy water comes in 3 flavors: blackberry, mango, and mandarin orange. And each bottle contains 4.5% ABV, 90
Okay.
calories, 1 gram of cane sugar, and 2 grams of carbs. So
Holy shit.
their marketing person said, Pura Still creates an option for consumers who want to enjoy themselves without worrying about carbonation and bloating, calories, or excess sugar. The brand manager said, Jessica Stainsby. She said,
Stainsby.
she said, you shouldn't have to compromise your lifestyle to enjoy a drink. And with Pura Still, you don't have to. I
So
bet that's what
people
your
are-
uncle says, too.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
have to
they're on
compromise.
board.
I can drive around and drink my rye and water.
So who
so
who's drinking these really? Like
I don't,
You.
people who
Me?
get gassy from seltzer, apparently.
Okay, I
That's what
guess.
they're saying.
But why? Like people who get gassy from seltzer or gassy from beer, aren't they just drinking like vodka water? Like
Yeah, this
You
is
would
a,
think.
they're not
right.
like out for a beer like beverage, right? They've decided long
No, I
ago
think
that
they
like
are.
beers aren't for them.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, I
But, like,
think-
so. Are they trying to bring them back around to the canned bottled beverages? Or I'm very confused.
maybe.
I don't know.
How many people in their 20s to early 30s are drinking vodka waters and enjoying it? I know some people do, but if you're casual, if you're floating on a river or you're having a picnic, vodka
Yeah.
water, and I saw Nick mixing a vodka water, which I have, I would say, good Lord, man,
it's hard
what
to
are you
pack
doing?
along, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I
maybe
guess.
that's what it's
This is
for.
like 4.5% alcohol. Suck these down. You'll feel like you're hydrating as you're dehydrated.
boy.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of interested. Wow.
Exactly.
You sold me just right there.
Oh, I'm
That's the
for sure
market.
going to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to decide what flavor I want. I think I'm going to go blackberry.
Yeah, I would do mandarin.
Mandarin?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think mandarin for sure. Yeah.
Uh,
Orange
I-
water. What was the other
I
flavor?
would do.
You get that
I
one.
would do mango.
Oh.
Mm.
I don't really like the
wouldn't.
mango
I
bubbly
wouldn't.
seltzer.
Blackberry would be the one I would.
Yeah,
do.
blackberry's the best.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mandarin's the
because canned cocktails are not really a thing. Like they haven't gained much of a foothold. I think they exist. Like they
Yeah.
are starting to be made.
Yeah.
But
The problem with like
Maybe
canned
that's why.
cocktails, I think, is that a canned cocktail, like it's tiny. It would have to be tiny because
Mm-hmm.
it's a shot and then whatever mixer. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're chugging those all day on a river float,
Right.
you're gonna be fucked.
right,
Like,
you got to slow
totally
it down
fucked.
a little bit. Right.
So what are you?
They're
oh,
probably
boy.
expensive. I'm looking up canned cocktails. They do exist. There's a few companies that make them. I'm looking at a canned mojito, a canned Bloody Mary, gin and tonic, rum and ginger, rum and cola. Oh, Jack Daniels is making that, like Coke and Jack.
Oh, really?
Really? In a
In a
can?
can. Yep.
Oh,
I've seen
wow.
that.
I had no idea.
And then there's canned crafted cocktails. Blue Moon and Coors are making them as well. Those are kind of like, maybe kind of like those chiladas or whatever, where you're just adding stuff to beer.
Yeah. By the way,
Oh.
this makes me think of when I was just in Palm Springs. My girlfriend Alyssa bought some beers when we stopped at the grocery store. She comes walking out with Palisades pineapple,
Oh man.
mango cart wheat ale from Golden Road Brewing, and a melon cart wheat ale from Golden
Wow,
Cart.
Palm Springs-esque.
Yeah. They
Very
were perfect.
fruity.
They were
Very
perfect
fruity,
for that.
yes.
And the melon cart one just tasted like fruit juice, essentially.
Yeah.
Like it
so
was
did
four-
Palisades pineapple.
But even more than that.
Oh,
like I
wow.
had it as comparison. I'm like, wow, in comparison to that side by side, the Palisades pineapple tastes like a pretty heavy wheat beer. That's how smooth and juicy the melon cart was.
Interesting.
So they were good picks for the weather.
Yeah,
given the
Sure.
weather.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. We've had relatively nice weather today in Seattle. Like it wasn't.
Yeah,
it
when I
wasn't
came
too
back,
bad.
I was
Yeah.
surprised.
Not
yeah,
too bad.
you left when it was when it kind of got cold though. So
Right,
you planned it well.
Yeah.
Should we talk weather? Hey,
20 minutes on weather.
speaking along the lines of things we talk about too much on this podcast, Nick came in here and was like, "I got some airport stories, but I don't want to do them on the podcast because
Yes.
he thinks listeners are sick of it." And you could be right. Listeners, tell us if you're sick of our airline stories or not.
Sound
but I'm
off.
just curious. Can you just give me a taste? Can you give me one little anecdote?
Sure.
Yes.
For you, Joe. Yes. So
Love
it's
it.
in relation to, I think you shared this on the podcast the last time you were in an airport going through the TSA pre-check line, and it was like a little backed up. Like the
Yeah.
lines were full
Yeah.
and people were in a huff. That happened this time again at SeaTac. The lines, I will admit, like it looks long
It does
when you're
look
used
kinda
to
long.
walking up. And these people are like losing their minds. There was this guy, this guy went underneath the little rope that's up. Like he undid the thing and then came through. I was like, I think the line's back there. He's like, I know, but my flight's in 15 minutes and I don't want to ask every single person to go in front of them. Can I go in front of you? I was like, go for it. Like, settle down, dude.
Jesus.
And then he
Fuck
kept,
off.
it was great. Other people had more balls than me because he kept asking people on the other side of the rope and be like, no, my flight's in 15 minutes too, bro.
Yeah, well, we all.
I
this
know,
is-
I know.
We all
I
get
would-
here early because
Yes.
it's not okay to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
other dude in line just had like an exasperated look on his face the whole time. He's just, is this the whole TSA pre-check? We're like, yes.
Yes,
You're in the
we're
right
all
line,
standing
sir.
here, yeah.
Settle down.
And was it 5 minutes?
Yeah. I told Alyssa this. I'm like, if we would have looked at a watch, it was probably 8 minutes from when that guy was losing his gourd to when we were walking through the metal detectors. Like,
Oh
it's
my
not going to
God.
make or break your flight. Or
We
if it
had-
does, it's your fault.
That's
Yeah,
your
if
fault.
it does, you're go anyway. Like, go
Yeah,
home.
yeah, yeah.
Just go home.
Yeah.
Really.
This is the same exact experience that I had then.
funny.
Exact same thing.
Yeah.
Though I will say, I think SeaTac must be in a weird position where they're not quite at enough TSA pre-check people to open up 2 pre-check lines.
Right.
Right,
I don't
yeah.
know why they do that.
But the one is very crowded.
Yeah, they need to attach
I
one
mean,
to a normal
again,
line.
quote, very crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah. But crowded-ish. Oftentimes, too, like, I feel like the line at SeaTac, it's not weaved appropriately. So, like,
They did
you,
do it weird
like,
this last
you're
time.
joining a line that's just one single file all the way to, like, security checkpoint 1, which is all the way across the airport.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Why can't we just weave like everyone else does?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's very
This
confusing.
dedicated line
Yeah.
weaves you a little bit, but
It does, yeah. And they had it in this weird way where you came in the line at the furthest from the security.
Yeah.
Then you go around the bend and then you're as close to security as you can be. And then you slowly make your way back and forth till you're back to where you started, kind of, but then you're going
Then
up
you're
to
going. Oh, that's weird. Very
it was
strange.
very mind blowing
Very strange.
for me and many people.
Wow.
So that's my airport talk.
Love
Okay.
it. Loved it. Loved every moment of it.
Thanks.
Glad we got there.
I can counter your airport talk
Here we
with
go.
theater talk if you'd
Yeah,
like.
you guys just saw a new film.
We
We
did.
went and saw Us, Jordan Peele's, from the twisted brain of Jordan Peele. We saw Us. It was excellent.
Very
we both
good.
loved it.
Yeah,
Came out of
would
the theater
suggest it.
buzzing.
Definitely.
Totally.
For sure.
All the hype is right. It's very good. It's as good as you'd think it is.
Yeah.
Tim Heidecker's really good in it.
Yeah.
Is he in it?
Yeah, he's
very-
a big role.
Big-ish.
Yeah, I mean, he's not in the main set of characters,
yeah,
but he has
he's in there
a lot of
few
screen
times.
time.
Yeah.
He and
pretty
Elizabeth
cool.
Moss are a couple in it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really good. Lupita Nyong'o does an amazing job. She plays
She's the best.
yeah,
in the
award
award.
two
winner.
characters.
She's
Wow.
very good.
Yeah, really good.
And the music is great.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we said before on
Who
this
did? Do you know who
show-
did the music?
I don't.
Okay.
But they kind of it's all derived from other songs and stuff. It's really
Mm-hmm.
well done. And I've said this before, but like music really can make or break a lot of shows, podcasts, movies, whatever
Certainly.
you're consuming. And this one nailed it. So that's part of why it's
Nice.
It's a great movie. Anyway, here's my problem with theaters. You go see a movie like Us. This is the first weekend it was out. It's a lot of hype. Theater's full.
Which one did you go to?
The Regal,
Okay.
where you can
Dream Lounge.
recline, the Dream
Fancy
Lounge.
one, yeah.
Hey, they have you could take beer in there now.
Yeah,
They
they
have a
have-
bar.
they have a
Have we talked
bar.
about that since the last? They finally renovated their concession stand.
Yeah,
They've been
no.
under renovation since I moved here, and
Yeah,
they finally
for years.
opened them. Yeah,
Yeah.
The food options are not bad, like relatively well priced.
I asked
Yeah.
Joey for chicken strips. He did not buy them for me.
Oh wow!
I thought you were kidding.
I was pretty much kidding, but
I went with like
No, I
Dennis and got
wasn't.
pizza. He said it was fine.
oh,
Spenny got
rave
like
review. Rave
like
review.
you know,
Yeah.
like margarita pizza at a movie theater for it to be fine, and it was like $8 or $9 or
That's
something.
not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
botched it. We walked by the bar because we thought it was like the one at Pacific Place where it's just a bar in the movie theater. Like you
Right.
can't actually take it in, but you could because we then watched people walk into our theater
Yeah.
with beers, and then we
That's pretty cool.
we had a Diet Coke the size of I don't even know what.
Yeah,
Like,
we had the Diet Coke size of a
A
10
keg.
gallon
We
bucket.
basically had a keg of Diet Coke.
But
so-
there's a sign they have next to the escalators to leave the theater. It says no alcohol beyond this point. And we both kind of took that sign to mean you can't leave the bar area.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
we
We were
Next
wrong.
time.
we botched
Next time.
it.
For us
God forbid
too,
we
we're
ask
gonna-
anyone if we could buy beer and then take it out. We were like, nah, we got.
You
we
have
got
to
this.
trudge ahead blind
I'll just drag this. Let me can you get a tapper for my Diet Coke keg?
and a catheter.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
Well, that's the other thing. The bathroom's on a separate floor in this
Yeah.
theater than the main
Not
set.
ideal.
So
Yeah,
it's a
it's-
mad sprint because, I don't
Yep.
want to miss any part of this movie. It's great. And I'm running up and I'm shimmying my way and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not washing my hands, going back into the popcorn. I'm
oh,
kidding. I
God,
did. I washed
no.
my hands.
You're the worst.
No,
I'm
it is
just
slow there. They
joking.
only have the old school air dryers
Yes.
with the
Takes
like
forever.
bacon
I just-
symbol.
I
Yes.
just went on my
Oh yeah, I
Nice.
did.
pants.
I washed my hands and definitely did not try them. That's
Yeah.
what the napkins are for.
That's
my,
right. That's a
the
good. That's a little
insane
hack.
amount of grease
little
on that
life
butter.
hack there. That's been our theater hack section.
Lifehacker.com. Yes.
Anyway, my big problem with the packed theater is just that I don't like being in a room with a bunch of other people and there being total silence. And in a lot of movies, you're going to get a good amount of time, good chunks of time that are total silence. And usually the director or the movie creator is putting that silence in for a reason to build
Oh, yeah.
tension, to
Very
do
effective.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But when it goes silent, it's just like all of these people sitting in a room and someone's doing something. Someone's
It's
someone's
magnified.
unpacking something in these Dreamliner places at all times. It's a 2-hour movie, all 2 hours, someone is going yee. It's so like there'll be this like intense scene. It's a horror film. It's like whoa, 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 and then it's like and someone reacting, and then yee.
My legs were falling asleep. I got that adjust, Joel. No, you're so
Funny,
right, though. You're so
yeah,
right.
I noticed that too. I also noticed it to myself. I would jump at certain points in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thriller, and I would hit the button, and it would make me freak out. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my
That's
god,
like a
someone's
4D
messing! Someone's
experience.
messing with my
Yeah.
chair."
Nice.
Not true. Just your knees that are up to your chest because you're terrified. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm always so self-conscious of adjusting my seat because
Yes.
of that.
Yeah, I do it in the beginning, and then even if when I go out to pee or something in the middle of the movie,
Sure.
I don't even. I just like climb
Sure.
out.
I
Yeah,
know
you're
you
able able-bodied.
Joey went to the bathroom before I went to the bathroom, and you climbed over your chair, like setting the precedent that was the rules of how the theater worked.
I don't want to make that
and
noise.
So then I had to climb over both your chair and my chair to get out. I did that 3 times during the 2-hour duration of this movie.
Wait, what kind of seats were you guys in? Why did you have to climb over his seat too?
Well,
yeah, I don't know what you mean.
I like had to because your seat was up. Your seat was up.
Oh,
so
the legs.
Oh,
The
were
legs were
Gotcha.
up.
You
Yeah.
could
So
go
there's-
around the legs.
So I had to scoot down my chair and get
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
Anyway, it was
Gotcha.
not ideal. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
I
good movie.
survived. Yes,
Nice.
great movie.
Everyone
Everyone
out there,
should
if you
see it.
haven't
I will
for
never
sure.
watch that movie, by the way. I shut off the
Why?
trailer halfway through. The second they showed that like silhouetted family standing silently
Yeah.
at the end of the driveway, I'm like,
You,
this,
like, shit your
I don't
pants.
need
You were
to
like,
see
nope,
this.
Here's
It's
what I'll
done.
tell you. It's
not
terrifying.
Really?
Like not spooky scary. It's,
Like the trailer, you think is more
more
scary
horror
than the-
oriented than
Okay.
the movie.
Yeah.
The movie
Yeah.
is a thriller. I mean, it is like it gets your blood going a little bit,
Sure.
but more like Mad Max blood than a horror movie
Okay.
get your blood going. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
it's
I really
definitely
highly
not-
recommend watching it. It's great, and you're not going to be that afraid of it.
Like if you compared it to Get Out in terms of spookiness.
Similar.
Similar,
Very
yeah.
similar. And like
Okay, then
it's
I could
also
do it.
like
Anything
it's
less-
funny at points and I don't know.
I think it's funnier than Get Out.
Yeah.
And if anything, it's less
Well,
like
Tim Heidecker.
scary. Tim
brings
Heidecker is great.
tons
in
of
it. I
comedy.
laughed out
Nice.
loud at him a couple of times.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, definitely
not.
not like spooky scary or anything.
Okay,
Like
maybe I'll see it
For
then.
me, I get terrified of movies super easily, like The Babadook is literally my nightmare. But I should be able to sleep tonight. So I think
Yeah,
that,
you're not
if that
going to be
gives you
like,
any
well,
inkling,
that fucked me up.
Yeah.
You won't be like that.
Yeah.
It's more sci-fi than horror.
yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
like Get Out
Okay.
is almost more sci-fi than horror.
Okay.
That's what this movie's like. It's good.
By the way, this discussion reminds me of another airplane
Oh,
thing.
yes.
It's not airplane related,
Round
really.
2.
I on the way to Palm Springs, I was in the very back row of the plane. And so you're like back by the flight attendants. And I just started chatting with them.
You're always back there.
Why are you always on the back
I
of the
love being by the
plane?
bathrooms.
Oh,
Beer
well,
number 2, by the way.
Oh, nice, Joe.
That's rare.
You fast. You're so
And
fast.
I was talking to the flight attendants, and then they're like, "Oh, where are you staying? Like, what are your plans?" And I was just like, basic, like just getting away for a weekend. And then the one guy's like, "Well, I used to live in Palm Springs. Like, I can give you some suggestions. Like, where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm not really sure. Like, I think near downtown." And then he's like, "Oh, just wait. Let me go get the other guy." So the other guy actually lives in Palm Springs. And then he's like, "Oh, where are you staying?" And then I like pull out my phone, show him on the map where I'm staying. And then he's like, "Oh, I live right here, like 2 blocks away." And then I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
Now I'm
I just
getting
taken
murdered.
to myself. Yeah. I did the
Yes,
thing
for
where I'm
sure.
taken. And then, Alyssa like looks at me too. She's like, "I can't believe you just did that." And I'm sitting there talking with them and like, I mean, obviously they knew our names and stuff, but then my mind ran wild with that. Of
And
like being scared to fall asleep at night, like locking all the doors, putting the like little dowel in the sliding glass door.
Oh, wow.
I was very paranoid.
At
Did
midnight-
not sleep well.
At
Oh,
midnight, did you peek out the
no.
window at midnight and see the silhouette of those 2 guys standing at the end of your
Standing by the
driveway?
pool,
They were
yeah,
holding hands.
Holding hands
the
with
flight
each
attendants
other.
were holding hands.
Yeah.
There's people in our
They-
driveway.
And it was fine. I'm alive to this day. They were very nice. Like
But you
the guy
had to murder them, and it was a long,
it
grueling
was, yeah,
process.
I'm not going to get into that on the podcast. A lot of extenuating
They
circumstances.
broke into your house. They were like climbing on this stuff, and you had to kill them.
They were very nice. The guy gave Alyssa and I a bunch of drinks for free on the flight, so it was like all fine. I think he was grateful to be able to chat with somebody.
It
wasn't a weird thing.
You
but
just
my
couldn't
mind-
remember how you got off that plane or your first day in Palm Springs. Other than that, it was fine.
Oh,
It all
man.
turned out well.
so well. So well.
But this
that's
is why
cool.
I can't watch horror movies because then
Yeah.
That's
I
fair.
just
That's
think, oh, this
fair,
is all
yeah.
bad.
But again, this one is because it's a more of a sci-fi movie than a horror movie. There's no way you're gonna leave the theater and be like, I wonder if
There's a
that'll
clone
happen
of
to
me.
me.
yeah.
You really should watch it because it's
Okay.
brilliant like sci-fi stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's
it is
good. Nice.
it is
It's really good.
intense, but it's not scary.
Okay.
Like Hereditary, I don't recommend you watch. That movie fucked me up for like a week and a half.
That was terrifying.
That is psychologically was
Okay.
damaging.
I've seen that, like, is it on flights now? I think it's like on Delta.
Oh,
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Yeah, but
Don't
I've-
watch it on a
yeah,
plane.
I'm not gonna-
Oh my God, no.
Don't watch that movie.
Okay.
It was too much for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to mention, as we left the theater, we were driving home, and we were going up the hill in Capitol Hill, and this fucking guy in front of us is talking to this other person in our lane on a red light. So there's 2 lanes,
Okay.
and the guy's talking across the car to the other person, and the light goes green, and neither of them are moving. So I hit the horn, and we noticed that he's holding a Seagram 7 out the driver's side window and just dangling it around.
Whole bottle. Whole
Then the
bottle of
person
Seagram's.
the person in front of me drives away, so he's kitty cornered to me now in the other lane, and he just puts his head out the window. Guy is fucking hammered.
Oh my God.
And he pulls the Seagrams in, and he's weaving between lanes, driving up. And I was just like, well, I'm going to keep a safe distance behind this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like veered in toward the hospital at some point.
Oh my
It
God.
was wild.
Yeah. I was like, it
Never
must
seen
be a
that
sunny
before.
day in Seattle. Everyone's hammered
Right,
drunk,
and you
driving
can do
home
whatever
at
you want.
5:30 p.m.
Yeah. Dang. I on my light rail trip back from the airport, people were cracking tall boys
Hell
on their
yeah.
way to CenturyLink because there's a motocross event at CenturyLink tonight.
Oh,
You
I'm
bet.
interested.
Yeah.
How much fun would that be?
Oh,
Those
yeah.
people are going to have fun.
Oh yeah. And it's like
I-
a sunny day, and
I
they're going to
support
head
their
into outside.
decision to be drinking tall boys on the train.
No,
for
it was
sure,
like I was
for
sort of
sure.
like, this is like it's 5 o'clock at the time.
Yep.
There's families and kids on here and stuff, but who cares? The kids are probably going to motocross too.
They
love
probably
it.
are. Probably getting all pissed up, too.
Joe, I got the beer advocate score queued up.
Well, before we give the listeners that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more cold cans. And we're back with a beer advocate score handy. Nick, what is Dos Equis giving us?
We've got a 2.74 out of 5, which translates to poor.
God,
Don't pour me another.
this is 3 weeks in a row now that I have vehemently degreed.
Whoa.
Hey,
What?
beer number
Say
2.
what?
This is why I degree.
have a degree, Joel?
I disagree with Beer Advocate. I think the people on there, they probably do have degrees. They're probably the liberal elite on their spouting off. Well, guess what? There's no more indictments coming from the Mueller report. It's liberals.
Yeah, I saw that
Yikes.
was while I was on vacation trying to not look at my phone, and then that popped up.
Yeah.
No
whatever.
imminent news, obviously.
Nothing, there is no news out of that yet.
Right.
Anyway.
The thing I wonder about with this is because it is in that green bottle, so it could skunk
Oh,
easily. You know,
yeah,
like it's
you're
very
right.
easy to get a bad Dos Equis, I bet.
Probably.
I believe
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So maybe people just give up.
Do you think Dos Equis is that one where they usually serve with a lime? Like, are we botching this without a lime?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Like in the commercials, does he have a lime sticking out of the end of that bottle?
I feel like not.
We bought
maybe.
this at the liquor store around the corner, and I
Okay.
saw that it said two for $1 limes.
Oh, next
I
to the
just
Dos
didn't-
Equis,
didn't
or
think about-
just in general?
On the counter, I could have just grabbed them.
Oh,
That's
well,
not bad
you
prices.
Fucked up then.
It really isn't for a liquor store. That'd
That's
just be like
that's what
$1
you would
lime.
pay
Pretty
at
normal for a lime
at like
price.
a QFC.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they charge $1 a lime? People, if they want to buy a lime, they're going to buy it there.
Maybe they're going rotten. They're just getting rid of them.
rotten lime.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I'm on the second one. So, in my opinion, the drinkability of this is just off the charts.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
What do
It
we
definitely
call
like isn't.
drinkability? Sessionability is
Sessionability.
off the charts. It's not bad at all. And we've taken a lot of umbrage with green bottles in this establishment, and this one is not damaged by it.
You got a fresh Dos Equis sixer.
I mean, I don't always drink
Blessed.
beer, but when I do. So Dos Equis is a little bit about them. Originally brewed by a German-born Mexican brewer named Siglo. So they named the brand Siglo XX 20th Century to commemorate the arrival of the new century, and the bottles were marked with the Roman numeral 420 XX. Thus, eventually, when it became commercialized, they started calling it Dos Equis.
Why 420?
420,
No.
bro.
Well, it's 4.2% alcohol.
No. It was the turn of it was the 20th
20th
century
so 1900
when they
started brewing.
brewing this. So
20.
the guy just called it Siglo XX, which is 20th century. The Siglo fell off, XX remained, and eventually just when it got grabbed up by brewers and is now on that giant Mexican conglomerate of beers. I can't
Why
pronounce
did it say 420 though?
It didn't say 420.
He
Nick.
said FOR space 20, not the number. Not the number FOUR 20.
Somebody's been down in Palm Springs. Has got
Wow.
420 on the mind.
I got that.
So they called it. They
sun brain,
called
you know?
it 20. Dos Equis
Got it.
4
the Roman
space
numeral
20.
420, the 20th century.
As
I've been
Joey
done
was
putting my place.
explaining that, I watched Nick's fake and he had no idea what was going on. You're like, I don't understand. Where
It's
does
just
the
that
420 come
420 life. That's all I think about.
That's all that
The
guy.
other 420.
You should meet our friend Brody Ovac. I guess you did meet him very briefly.
I did very briefly. He was asleep for most of it though.
The listeners loved him. I
That's what
see.
I've heard.
I see.
Great feedback.
I see digging into a bag.
Yeah, we got a little parable.
Terrible or terrible.
Airport edition.
All right.
I found these at the Palm Springs Airport. They are nut butter filled figgy pops called Nutter and Jelly Super Snacks, organic fruit and nut snack. It says that whole bit on the front of this package.
Wow.
Nut butter filled from organic, made in nature.
From organic. So nut butter
That's
is in it.
Apparently the name of the company.
Where does fig come into play? Fig is the wrapping on the
Fig
outside?
is, yeah, it's like figs, cranberries, and then some
Hold one up for me.
coconut. Okay. They look very gross.
Do they? Are they good? That is the
They look
question.
about like what I would imagine them to look like. Oh boy,
All right, dig
Yeah,
in
we
there.
got a couple
Dev.
of pictures there.
they're much.
So I've had a couple on the plane,
There you go, Jojo.
but I saved some.
Uh-oh.
They're much bigger
I don't
than
know if I
would
took a
imagine.
picture.
Right?
This
Do I
is the
eat?
stove.
See,
we're
that's
looking
what
at.
I'm.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
Oh.
I'm saying. They like are much bigger than I would have thought. They're like
Yeah,
the
like, I
size of a
think they-
truffle,
Yeah,
rather than
than like a peanut. I don't know.
right,
I
or
don't-
like
I-
some sort of nut size.
This would be like if hail fell, my dad would go out and go, look at the size of this goddamn hail. Like it's about as big as hail gets. That's my...
Oh wow, good comparison. Hail's one of those things I haven't seen much of in my life. Surprisingly, yeah. I just feel like it didn't happen. Yeah, because quick chewing in the mic, Joe. God damn it. I can't do 5 minutes on hail while you chew this thing.
all the time.
No, the Palm Springs Airport, by the way, if you ever get a chance, it's a very beautiful space. It's like open air, so you're kind of walking through. It's mostly outside. Uh-oh, this is the reactions here. I
Not-
agree, by the way,
not,
from when
uh,
I ate them earlier.
Not. I'm going to go ahead and say not parable at all. Maybe fine on their own.
Oh,
Very healthy.
fuck.
They taste very healthy. Like
Do they? It tastes like
yeah,
shit.
I don't
Is-
know.
Is
They
shit
taste
healthy?
like they.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Nick's about to go in.
100
everyone.
times yes.
Everyone poops. Joey. Everyone poops.
Everyone eats poop.
Yep. Everyone eats. I mean, you don't. Yeah.
I do.
You don't, Joey?
I think that...
I took a bite out of it. That was a bad idea.
Eat
I
it.
think
That
I-
was a good idea.
Got
Yeah.
it, Devin.
Uh,
It
Got
was
it.
better to not eat the whole thing. I regret doing that.
I've never had a more terrible parable
so?
or terrible. This is the bottom of the terrible bin.
No, you hated the puff pork
I did.
epic thing.
Also,
Remember that?
there was Apple Jacks that we put in the Sparks.
Oh God.
That was the worst. That
been
dawned
the
on
worst.
me as well.
These claim to be nut butter filled. I get almost no nut butter taste when I eat these.
Mainly like dried cherries.
Yes, dried.
Like
I think
sour
dried
cherries.
cranberries.
Or yeah.
I think that's what it is the
Cranberries.
cranberries. And then there's dates apparently, and
They t-
no figs actually, which is weird
That's
because
strange.
they're
That's
called
false
figgy pops.
advertisement.
Figgy. What the fuck is a figgy pop then? They taste rotten.
No, they don't taste rotten. They definitely taste rotten when you pair it with the Dos Equis. That's
Yeah.
not a good combo.
I think they're spoiled.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
used by August 8, 2000.
16.
Just 2000. I think
Well,
they're rotten.
$7.99 at the Palm Springs
Oh,
Airport.
Jesus.
So
By the way,
enjoy.
Nick was asked to fill time. Couldn't think of talking hail and the time was 30 seconds. And in 30 seconds, got to talking airports, talking Palm Springs.
It was
Airport.
relevant to this
It
parable.
was,
terrible.
but
Get
don't
off
ever act
my
again.
back.
I'm not on your back. Just
I'm
never,
not saying I don't like talking about it.
just
I'm
never act like you don't want to talk airports.
I always do, but I don't think the listeners always want to hear it.
The
never
listeners probably don't want to hear it.
But this isn't about them.
It's
This
your
is about
choice.
you.
Okay,
This is your podcast.
That's
you get to
right.
do what you want.
my pod, my choice. My potty, my choice.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
this is the first wrong tube, I think, in Cold Can's history.
Gotta get away from the mic.
Sounds like you're coughing
You're
right
leaning
into the
into
microphone.
the mic.
Good
you like
Lord.
pulled it closer to him.
Sorry, listeners.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Now I did a fake cough into the mic, which is
Oh,
more
boy.
fun.
Way more fun. Joey,
How you
Joey
feeling?
might be choking still. You good? Your eyes are
Wrong tube?
watering.
Have we done wrong tube yet?
I don't know.
Who could say?
What is wrong tube?
You're a rube.
You're the hospital person. What's wrong tube?
Because because I work
Tell
in
us,
in a clinical
hospital.
laboratory. I know how the body works.
Do you ever
Yes, I
test a
do.
blood sample and it says wrong tube?
Wrong
was
tube
is
comes
the-
out. Yeah,
is
it comes
what
out the other way.
problem was.
Basically, what it is you're chewing and breathing at the same time, and there are
going
two
into the
tubes.
lungs.
There's a trachea and there's an esophagus. One is where the food goes, and one is where the air goes. There's a flap to make sure when you're eating that flap is closed. Well, when
tubes.
you're
that
talking
flap's not
and
always
breathing
closed.
and
Hey.
chewing and drinking all at the same time, one of those flaps stays open. You aspirate some of what was, I assume, Dos Equis into your trachea, and you cough.
Wow.
All of that was made up. I am not
No.
sure.
That sounds right.
If you
That's
really
about
did
right.
make that up, well done.
I think that's kind of how it works, but Alyssa
Listeners,
would know.
stick your
Alyssa would know.
Yeah, I've heard her
Come
talk
on.
about this
Should we
kind
call
of
her
stuff.
on the pod?
Listeners, no. Listeners, stick your fingers at the back of your throat. You'll feel that little flap back there if you
Yeah.
get your fingers back far enough.
Yes, exactly.
That's what diverts things.
Yes.
It's very sensual.
Yes, listeners, listen to us and jam your fingers into the back of your throat right now.
Yeah.
Hit pause.
You'll want to if you ever try one of these figgy pops.
Yeah.
You want it out of you immediately.
Yeah.
Not good.
2 grams of fiber, though.
Hey,
Oh, brother.
we're all about it. Man.
All right. Shall we rank?
Okay, let's get to the rankings. Rankings. Here we are. So we have our new system. We have our
Right.
new beer tiers. Devin, are you privy to these?
I think so. I don't remember.
Why don't we recap them for you? And I will do that right now. That's just how I'll begin doing it
You can
by
get
starting
there.
to talk out loud.
We got
Here
it.
they are.
We got
All
it.
right.
Here we go.
So the beer tiers are at the top. It's Cream of the Crop. But then we've introduced the Zen 10. That is the next 10 beers after Cream of the Crop. Then we have Wild Card and Mild Card as we had before. Then the Olive Loaf. And then the Deplorables and Russian Radioactives.
So I think Olive Loaf and the Zen 10 are both new to
Those are
my,
new.
to my knowledge.
So Olive Loaf is going to begin with Trader Jose Premium Dark Beer. And below that, the Deplorables begins with Busch Light. So I loved this beer. I can count the number of times on my little hands as to how many times I've had 2 beers on this podcast. And this one, I wanted it bad.
You having a tough week, Joe?
No, it's just Saturday night. We don't usually record
Okay.
on Saturday evening.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot it was Saturday night. Yeah.
Where are like comparable beers to this? So I'm talking Tecate.
We
all
don't compare here.
Well, we do. It's about rankings.
So Tecate is 47.
what tier would that be?
That's in the Olive Loaf.
That's in the Olive Loaf. Oh boy.
We also did Modelo Especial. Well, we did Corona Extra, which is 40. And we did Modelo Especial, which is 46.
so they're all right kind of next to each other.
So Corona is the only one above the Olive Loaf. They're in the mild cards.
Okay. And I feel like Brooks would probably want. Was it Brooks that did Tecate?
At Brooks Mag, the
Tecate would be
commissioner.
number one
Tecate
for
has
him.
the Brooks bump right now. I
Yeah.
think that's too high. We're going to have to take a look at that, Commissioner.
That'll be our first double asterisk if we ever do a re-rank, where that will have
'Cause
been,
it got
it's been
moved back
re-ranked
up, yeah.
once, and it's going to be re-ranked again. Very
My position has
Anyway,
boring.
so
changed.
we're between the rest of a similar style of beer.
Yeah.
Is in the 40 to 47-ish range. So that's
Right.
real middle of the pack. Once you guys get to 100, those ones will all be still middle of the pack,
Yeah.
right?
So, but if you put this above 40, above meaning 40 to 80, and we have 80 episodes out right now, you're saying it's in the bottom half of beers that we've had,
Of all beers, of all 100 beers of all
which
time.
is the beers of all time.
Right, understandable. I'm a guest, so my opinion doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm going to tap out.
Nick, what are you thinking? Devin tapped out.
I like this better than Trader Jose Premium Dark Beer, which we just had.
Wow. I have it way higher.
Yikes. How much higher?
I love this. I think it's
Really?
good beer.
How have you
You've
never
been
had
big
it before?
ranking beers high. We've totally thrown out the idea of like subjectively ranking these based on past experience or like how they fit into our lives.
Well, we'd have
like,
never
where is
had past
Busch Light
experience
on
here.
this?
Busch Light's way down there.
I know. That's what made it stick out to me
Busch
when you
Light's
said
clearly
that's
part
at-
of the re-rank. It may be
Okay.
part of Cold Can Summit when we have it.
Oh, right. Okay, Linito still is up pretty high. What about right under Stella Artois
Whoa.
at 29 between Summer
Oh,
Shandy
man.
and Stella
I will,
Artois?
as an outsider here looking at Joey's
Wow.
computer screen, do you know what's up on the top of his computer screen? Number
it
28, Stella Artois.
Stella?
Number 29, Lion and Kugel Summer
Wow.
Shandy. Number 30,
I'm
Bud
not-
Light Platt.
I swear to God, on my life, I was going to say right below Stella Artois
Holy
and right
shit.
above Summer Shandy. I had it up on the
This
screen.
Dos Equis has
I
that
can
in
see
sync.
I can
It's
see
nice
Joey's
that we have
screen
a
and I
third party to
can't
attest
see
this.
yours, but
Wow.
yeah. Well, I think that's the spot.
I mean, you can't get better than that.
can't.
Holy shit.
We got 2 X's on that one.
Very
2
good.
fours.
Very good indeed. Devin, as always, thank you for joining us on the show.
Of course.
Thanks for eating one of those atrocious figgy
They were
Pop Pops.
bad. They were bad, but the beer was good, and it's your new what number?
It's our new 29. Talk to you guys next week, Cold Cans Nation.
Bye.